Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
It's very nice to see you here on the product launch of our clubs functionality. We called it clubs, but out there in the wild, you may know family accounts, shared accounts, householding. These are the names that are covering the same topic. So when earning or burning is not only a personal effort, but a group effort. So today we are here to launch this functionality because now it's a part of Antavo, and doing product releases is always a very nice thing and honorable thing to do, especially because it's like the two of us here, but it's always a big group of people who's involved in this process for many months. Today, with you here is myself, Zsuzsa. I will introduce myself, and Andras Taraszovics. Andras, please say a couple of words about yourself.
Yeah, so hi, everyone. We probably met before if you watched any of our previous product release videos, but my name is Andras Taraszovics, and I'm the head of product here at Antavo, and I'm really excited to be here with Zsuzsa today to introduce this new feature that she was referring to.
I'm Zsuzsa Kecsmar, one of the co-founders of Antavo and Chief Strategy Officer. And please tell about you too, because I see that a couple of people already said hello, like Louise from America, Hannah, glad to be here, Sheila from London. Hi, everyone, Ivanoy, Phil, Ken, Paul. Very nice to meet you. So that the thing that you are using down there is our chat. It's a great chat functionality, and it's not only great to actually say something or comment on what we are saying, but also to ask questions. So over the course of this release webinar, you are able to ask questions from myself or our head of product, and we will be able to see this. So my colleagues there will help us separate the questions from the comments. So we will be able to answer these questions at the end of this session. All right. So I would like to give you some insights on why we started with family accounts and shared accounts or point pooling at the first place that we call as clubs. In the technology that we develop in Antavo. And I would like to share this slide with you, which is a quote from McKinsey. And McKinsey says that McKinsey called community building the big idea in marketing, as it will succeed personalization in marketing. We talk about communities in marketing, in B2C and B2B for a long time, and we see that communities is one of the representations of that, when it's not only about one person, but it's about a group of people who are seen as like parents, they are seen as classmates, they are seen as family members in a loyalty program, because all and each one of us has these different roles over the course of our lives. When we read about this over the course of the summer, we thought that it would be great to ask this very question in the big report that we are producing, because you might have heard about that we run the Global Customer Loyalty Report, which is a big annual report that we do each year. And this year, we asked 10,000 consumers and 2,600 loyalty professionals all over the world. So we thought that as we are thinking of this new product feature, we could actually ask people what they think about the topic. And it turned out to be a very nice and comprehensive document. Since our launch in 5 weeks ago, it is already downloaded by like 4,000 people.
That's impressive.
It's quite nice. I'm so happy about that it seems to be like a useful piece of document. And on page 60, you can learn more about point pooling and family accounts, earning and spending points together. This is the name that we gave into this chapter. But there is one point that I would like to point out, that consumers would love it. This is what we learned, that 76% of consumers would use points pooling or family accounts if it was available. They would rather shop with those brands that offer this feature. On the other hand, what is the other hand? What we can see as marketeers? Only a few marketeers use it, actually. Only 4 out of 10 businesses offer this in their loyalty program, though 7 out of 10 loyalty program owners would think that like it's worth it. The effort to build this, to keep this is worth it because the benefits are much higher. So we identified this opportunity gap. So I just said like 70-something% of consumers want it, but only 4 out of 10 marketeers offer it. So that's the opportunity gap that we wanted to address. We produced a report, and just when preparing for this product release, we actually asked ChatGPT, like, bring me statistics about family accounts and points pooling in loyalty program. Well, ChatGPT gave back the answer that we produced in Antavo's report. I'm very happy that it's already knowledgeable about our own report. But before we would actually go into showing it, I would like to ask you, Andras, that why you thought that it should be the product's team focus to develop this functionality.
Yeah, this is a great question, Zsuzsa, because as you probably know, we have a lot of requests coming in from our customers to improve the products in certain different areas. A lot of great ideas are coming from our customers and partners in this field. But we had a common theme across all the conversations that we've been having with retailers, our customers from hospitality and other industries as well. And that was to introduce a sort of community building element to the loyalty program. Of course, with different businesses, it was different ideas that come together. For example, for retailers selling, for example, kids wear or other fashion items, it was usually family accounts that they came up with, but also brands that are targeting Gen Z customers were interested in how they can have this community element of friends collecting points together as well in the loyalty program. And of course, the usual suspect of hospitality was another great sector where we got this question from. So we thought, like, if there's such a huge demand for this, why don't we build something inside of Antavo? This is how we started to work on this module.
It makes sense. Was there any particular program that inspired you, that was out there already, that you looked at and then thought that, okay, so that's a great example to look at?
Of course, we looked at many different programs in this field, but what stood out is actually it's quite a coincidence that you also included this in the loyalty report. We looked at Hilton Honors. It's a really great program, and it's simple in a good way. I would say it's easy to understand the logic. It's easy to understand how the points can be pulled together and what kind of benefits can I get as a member of the program if I team up with my family and start collecting points for future bookings and discounts and experiences. So it was a really great example that we looked at, of course, amongst many others, but that stood out for us.
Very nice. So right now, we will show a 2-minute video for you, maybe 1.5, but it really shows what this new functionality is about. Clubs, as we call it, point pooling, family accounts, shared accounts, as like the multiple names it's called on the market. It's just really hot off the press because we were just ready with it today. And I'd like to ask my colleague to now start this video, please. You will not see us, but you will see the video now.
Hello. Antavo invites you to the next generation of loyalty programs where community building drives engagement, member advocacy, and ROI. Introducing Clubs in Antavo. A new module that lets you do points pooling, family accounts, and other community features like never before. Welcome to the world of Care Rewards, a fictional loyalty program for a beauty retail chain. And let me introduce you to our protagonist, Liz, a beauty enthusiast. Lisa's just browsing through the selection of campaigns available in Care Rewards when something unexpected happens. Maria, Lisa's sister, has just invited her to her family account so they can earn points together for bigger rewards. Once Lisa joins the club, some of the tokens earned after her purchases are automatically converted into family points. Every member contributes to this bigger goal, but you decide who can spend the points. Spending the points is just as easy. As you can see, Tess flicks through the catalog of family rewards while on a FaceTime call with her family and selects the reward that everybody likes. While our story ends here, you can create your own with the new Clubs module of Antavo. It's flexible and highly customizable. It doesn't railroad you into predetermined templates. It supports use cases from family accounts to sports clubs with hundreds of members. Whether you are an FMCG brand or a B2C retailer, or work in a B2B or B2E vertical, you can create communities around your audience. Are you excited about Clubs? Looking forward to building the next generation of community experiences and loyalty together with you. Clubs. Available right now as part of the Antavo AI Loyalty Cloud.
To see all these. It is really lovely to see all these. Excited, the video was. We are super excited.
Exactly.
It's just really nice to see it now out, because we've been working on this for so long. How is it for you to watch this video?
It's like, when you're working on something for so long, you forget where you're coming from, and when you see it all coming together, it's just a nice feeling, I guess. And I'm grateful to see this also on behalf of the whole team that was working on it.
Very nice. All right. So I think we should dive into the most important part of our session today, because so far we talked about what is this, why is this important, and now let's see how it actually works. So Andras, please share your screen and guide us through the platform, show us the different parts of the demo.
Yeah, so basically what you've seen on the video was how the customer experience would look like, a member experience would look like for someone that is joining a club, accruing points in the club, and then sharing those points with their families or friends, and then how they can make use of those points. And what I'm going to show you right now when I'm sharing my screen is how you can make it happen. So the functionality that we showed to you is all encapsulated into the module that we call Clubs within the Antavo loyalty engine. So this is part of our loyalty engine offering. It's one of the modules, similar to the other modules that we have in there. You can access it from there and there. What you're seeing right now is the way that you can create club templates. So the reason we are not calling this module family accounts or points pooling in itself is, and if we call it clubs, the reason behind that is that we wanted to support different concepts, different ideas of clubs and communities within Antavo. And so what you can do in the screen is that you can create those different concepts, and these concepts in our tool are called club templates. So a club template can be called different names that can be shown on the management UI and can be, of course, shown to the members of your loyalty program through APIs as well. And then you can define the type of club template, for example. So should you wish to run something like a family account type of our community, you might want to select a private one. So customers would need to invite each other into the club. If you want to do something more generic, more appealing to larger sets of people, then you probably want to make it public so people can join in. Let that be, for example, an interest group, or if you are, for example, working together for a charitable cause, that would be a great idea to run that publicly so people can join and leave whenever they please and contribute to the club. And there are definitely a lot of settings that you can configure here, and today I'm not going to go into all of them. One thing I would like to highlight is the controls that we have over the member limitations within a club. So if you are, for example, running a family type of a club scheme that you've seen in the video, you probably want to limit this number quite low, because you don't want people to just to engage in fraudulent activities in this. So having a sweet spot of 10, 20 people in a club is going to be nice for you, but you can scale it up to 100,000 customers at this stage. So you can run really large initiatives, large clubs. Football supporter clubs, for example, is a great example where you might have that many people in a single club, or a charitable cause and similar ideas. Then further down below, this is where you have the contribution settings. So basically you can define really granularly how customers are earning points, contributing to the points of the club. So for example, you can say that you want the existing set of points that you're already giving to the customers, portion of that to be given towards, or basically earned towards as a contribution to the club. Or you can say that you want the customers to earn additional points on top of what they are already earning. The choice is yours. And for both scenarios, we have sophisticated controls available right within the tool. You can also define expiration, because keeping control of points liability is very important. It's critical for you, not just when you're talking about individual customers and their earnings, but also when it comes to clubs, because points do accrue there as well. And you want to make sure that clubs are using those points so they are not sitting there on their account. And also, that is creating a more active member base. Similarly to how you can do it in the points economy module of Antavo, which is responsible for the individual point earning. Similar to that, in the clubs module, you also have different types of expiration. So of course, it's your call. You can have no expiration if you want that. You can have rolling expiration, which means that from the point that you earn the points, certain days elapse, and then the points will expire then and there. Or you can do calendar expiration as well. So it's up to you. And also, if you can earn points, of course, you should be able to burn them as well. And we're going to show you how you can do that actually. And you have control over that as well. So you can say that all of the members that are in a particular in the particular club that you set up can burn those points. This works well with the likes of families, friends, where people do know each other, they are very close to each other. So it's not going to be a trouble if someone else, and maybe aside the owner, is spending the points. But of course, you want to keep this on owner only if you are running something bigger, like a charitable cause, once again, a football club, or maybe if you want to run a B2B type of a club scheme, maybe you want to limit this to the business owner. Then there are further settings down there. For example, you can limit whether the club's name can be edited. Mistakes can happen. So basically, you can, and the customers can correct these. And of course, more importantly, the whole module is compatible with Antavo's points economy module, which lets you run different types of loyalty programs, different types of point schemes in a single Antavo workspace. So you can select which point account you want the customer to get the points from, right? So there are a lot of settings, and maybe I covered 50% of them. So there is still plenty to explore here, but I would like to move on and show you how it works in reality. So if I'm navigating over to the screen, you can see the different clubs that we have in here. So these are all, of course, made up clubs. These are just examples for today. And you can see here the list of clubs. You have the greater details shown in here, like what is the name of the club, and who is the owner of that particular club, what is the member count, and then quick statistics on how the club points accrual looks like. So how many points have been contributed, spent already, and how many points are still there to be spent, okay? And as a handy addition to this, we included clickable links in here, so you can copy both the club ID, both the template ID, and both the customer ID to your clipboard. Should you wish to do some sort of customer service activity, someone is dialing in and would like to have detail about a particular club, how it performs, the club that they are in, they want to change a detail, you can copy it over and quickly search for it in anywhere within the Antavo management UI. Let's play this scenario actually, and let's have a look at, what kind of visuals can I see as a customer service representative if I'm checking on an individual club. So I can immediately at a glance have a look at how many members are in the club compared to the total limit that I set up, right? So I set this limit to 20, and there are currently 4 people in this club, and this club happens to be the club that we shown to you in the video, right? So this is a club where Liz is part of that club, and they are together selecting a reward. You can see how many people left the club and how many points have been accrued so far, and what is the average contribution per member in here. So quick statistics, so you can quickly check on the health of the club itself in the individual club level. If you are a customer service rep and picking up a phone or chatting with the customer, you can quickly change, for example, the club name for them. So it's really easy for you to do that and quickly check on information like how many times the owner has changed throughout the history of the club. So this is also to prevent fraud and to, at a glance, have a view of if there is some sort of fraudulent activity going on in a club. So we kept in mind that clubs and communities can be a great source of fraud as well, besides the benefits that they can bring, right? So we focused heavily on these sides of this particular development. Even so, we wanted to provide full visibility for anyone that is managing a club, running a club, and also providing customer support related to clubs on what kind of activities contributed towards the club. So you can see here each and individual purchases that were made by the family that we are looking at here. So this is a made-up family that you've seen in the video, Maria and Rebecca, all of made-up people, contributed purchases towards the club's goal of achieving something bigger and getting a bigger reward for that, right? So that's what you can see here. And you can go back until the beginning of time if you wish to see when the club was funded and when the members joined the club. So you can see everything in here. But if you are really interested in the members of the club, we have a view for that as well, where you also have a quick report on the top just to make sure that you are not losing sight of how many points were earned, spent, and how many points are already expired in here. But here you can see the individual members as well based on their role. And you can perform quick actions. For example, you can adjust their points here from this really handy interface. You can increase and reduce the points as well. So you can make corrections here with reason included. So it's fully auditable, traceable, and it basically complies with the strictest privacy regulations as well. You have also controls here to disband the club. When would you do that? For example, if someone dials in and wants to be redacted from your database, you want this program to be really compliant with the latest privacy acts and GDPR, CCPA. Members are dialing in or chatting with you, maybe through an AI-driven chat as well. You can actually disband the club from this very interface, but through API as well. But if you're interested in individual members, you can dive into that as well. So I can head over to Lisa's profile to see their individual information directly from the club interface. No need to search for them, no need to take shortcuts. You just click on this and then there you are. You are looking at their data. And you see a handy little club point statistics in the middle, showing you the most important details about Lisa's contributions to the club, right? So this is where their status, what is the club that they are joined, and how many points they contributed. So if I go back to the previous screen and I select Rebecca, Rebecca is the owner of this club, right? And she's the one, because this is the setting that I applied here, she's the one that can spend the points of the club. But should I wish to do that, how can I do that? So currently we are supporting a way of claiming club rewards in exchange for club points. That's the way that you can currently spend your club points. This is how you can make use of them. We deeply integrated this with our existing rewards module. So you are using our good old, trusted, and proven rewards module to build club rewards, different types, and then you can select them from this list. So if I click on this, you can see that this reward is we are getting this reward from the rewards module. And if I go to the rewards module, you can see here that I'm setting it up simply as I would do that with any other reward, providing copy on the top, setting up everything else at the bottom, right? So these are the different UI controls that you probably are familiar with if you are already using Antavo. But if I zoom in here, you're gonna notice a different story about that. My trackpad just stopped working, but I'm not gonna zoom in here then. Here it is. The change that we made in here is that you can select where the points should be deducted from if you are claiming this particular reward, right? So previously you were only be able to spend account points, but now you can do with club points as well. And this is how you are defining club rewards in here. As you can see here, if you were really looking carefully, you can see here that this one costs 300 club points. And Rebecca only has 296. So we are 4 points short on this. Let's make a purchase on behalf of Rebecca just to make sure that we have enough points to be spent. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually register a new purchase in here real quickly. So I'm going to just, give it a made-up transaction ID just to make sure that we have it. I'm selecting the point account. I'm putting in a little large purchase just to make sure that we are crossing the boundary of earning enough points for it. And this is going to be demo products that we are buying from here. And we are buying one of them. Okay, so I believe that's all we need to do in here. Yes, and so I'm registering this purchase. So this purchase is, of course, just like in any other purchase that's been registered in the loyalty program, can come from API, can come from your e-commerce, can come from imports. So these were not changes. So this is fully integrated with our existing loyalty engine offering that we have. So it's really tightly coupled. So you can use and leverage all the integration that you already built within your Antavo setup. And you are already that you are going to build within your Antavo setup as well. So the purchase has been registered, points been earned. We earned a lot of club points actually after this purchase, 300. So this would be enough in itself to claim that particular reward. So let's do that. I'm going to head back to Rebecca's profile. I'm going to click on the claim reward. I'm going to select the mega voucher of €100 in here, and I'm going to select the right point account, and then I'm just going to claim it. And Rebecca already has this reward. So the points been deducted, and you can already see that 300 of these club points were already spent. And if I go back to the clubs, which I can do in here, you see that all the contributions have been updated, the spendable points and the spend points were also updated. So this is how easily it works. And I believe this sums up greatly of how you can manage it, how you can manage a club. Of course, there is plenty more to show, but we have very limited time, and we would be eager to hear your questions about this new functionality. How do you like it? What are your key questions, maybe? So I believe I would hand it back to you, Zsuzsa, then.
Yeah, and thank you, Andras, for this great demo. Exactly. Thank you so much. Now you're able to see us. It's such a nice demo. And then the chat was on fire. You will see that it's actually like 10 questions that we will need to answer now, which is amazing. Keep going because we do have the time for that. Before we would go into the actual answering of the questions, I would like to ask you to sum things up. Okay, so we have 2 more slides which are about the use cases of the family accounts, shared accounts, point pooling, or clubs, how we call it. And then I would like to dive into that. So I just shared this screen. Please tell us a bit more about it.
Yeah, that's, as I said earlier, Zsuzsa, when we discussed this with the customers, our customers were coming from different backgrounds, right? Different industries as well. So when we were working on this module, we focused on different types of clubs, which are appealing to different types of businesses out there. Of course, B2C, we have families and friends. I talked a lot about that today, so no news for you. But we mentioned sports clubs, and that's a real neat scenario. If you are running, for example, a local sports club, and you want to make sure that the supporters of the local sports club can team up together and to collect for example, if let's say that this is a football club that we are talking about. Okay, I love football, by the way. This is why I'm bringing it up as an example. And they want to have a new goal net, for example, for the local football club. So basically, this is a great way to build a community around those people that are supporters of this local club as well through the clubs module. Charitable causes, it was mentioned already, it's a great way, not just for B2C, but for other verticals as well, to run charitable causes through this. But for B2B, setting up interest groups or basically grouping businesses together that are buying from you as a wholesaler or as a brand selling through professionals, it's a great way to use the club module, to leverage the club module to group these businesses together, maybe alongside of the owner and then all the people that are responsible to get supplies from your business, right? And then for B2E, if you are running a large organizational loyalty program, employee loyalty, I believe it's a great difficulty to achieve. And this is a great challenge for a lot of businesses, but using clubs to increase employee loyalty is a great way to do that, so they can team up together through different departments, or maybe even cross-departmental groups can team up together in a club scheme, and you can set it up through the clubs module, of course. So we kept all of these in focus. And there are some key features that I wanted to also highlight in here. Throughout the presentation, I mentioned, and you also seen on the screen, right, that this is a great way to build experiences for your customers as well, right? And it's Antavo's many different modules, amongst many different modules, which are API first. Basically, what that means is that the entirety of the clubs module, from setting up, managing clubs, managing members in the clubs, as well as managing the points of the club members, everything can be controlled over API. But if you want to build an interface for that, let's say into a mobile application, onto a website, or in reality to any other device that can be used by the customer these days, maybe even AI agents down the line, right? You can leverage Antavo's really powerful, robust APIs to build these experiences into a very much composable architecture of yours. So it's a great way to work with this module like that. Throughout the presentation, I talked about fraud a lot. And that was no accident, because we wanted to make sure that, when people can exploit this capability for not so great things, right? We wanted to make sure that we prevent losses for you and damage for you. So basically, sophisticated fraud controls like limiting the amount that the customers can spend, how many times they can change the name of the club, and everything are built into the clubs module, and we are improving the number of these. The module has fully integrated club and club member management, entirely end-to-end. So from creating the first club until disbanding it, it's covered. We have the club points expiration in place to control the liability, to make sure that you are encouraging members to really be interactive in the loyalty program and keep your budget in control as well. And then, of course, with the private and public settings of the clubs, you can meet the privacy requirements of today, which are increasingly high. So these would be the highlights, I would say, for the clubs module.
And the best thing is that it is available now.
Exactly. From this very moment, yes, you can try it out. It's entirely available in our documentation suite as well. So you can check the usual developers.antavo.com and docs.antavo.com websites as well for the club's user manuals and developer guides. So you can really start to get a feel of how it works. But also, there are other means to get in touch regarding this?
Of course. So those people who are existing Antavo customers, please feel free to reach out to your customer success manager. We listed a couple of pictures here. You will recognize these people. And then if you are a partner, because you are designing loyalty program concepts, or you are implementing loyalty programs, or you do this at the same time, like in one organization, and you're likely a partner to Antavo, then you can also ask your partner manager about all the details, though it is available already on Antavo's documentation. We listed a couple of the members of our partner team here. So I believe this is time for questions. So which is the one that I would like to start with? I would like to start with Louisa's comment here, because Louisa just shared about, hey, Hornby Hub is here. Hornby is a customer of Antavo. Hi, Louisa. Think model railways and slot cars. We have lots of potential uses for this function. Our products are about collecting inherently, and a lot of our Hobby Rewards members collect points that they then spend later the year. There are lots of model building clubs up and down the country, and a lot of our customers have membership of local clubs. I like this comment from you, Louisa, so much, and thank you so much for sharing this, because this is exactly what clubs are for. Like, inherently, really, your business is about community and creating things together. And then if this can be mirrored in a loyalty program in a more virtual space, like, how nice is that? It's a different level of connection. Louisa also shares, I think our customers would happily collect points in their own personal Christmas Saver Club. And members of in real life clubs might donate to a central pot of points they could later choose to spend on things for their in real life clubs layout or model collection or employment equipment. So it's such a nice use case, and thank you so much for sharing. All right. Louisa also makes a point that we could use this function to allow customers to essentially give their points through clubs. And actually, Isabel's question is related, or comment is related to this too. And Andras, please reflect on that. Would it be possible to use this module to share points with a donation organization? How it would work?
Yeah, so we have a capability right now. So with the current setup of things that we are running this with, you'll be able to basically say, run like an automation in the background that take away these points periodically, let's say quarterly at the year end. And then these points could be taken away and then be converted into like a monetary value and could be given to a charitable organization, for example. And this is in a way that, you have a predetermined amount that you are already contributing to this particular charitable cause with each and every one of your purchases. This is what's available currently. But as I mentioned earlier on, there are plenty more of the features that are currently in the product, but I never mentioned before is that we are also building more features into this product currently. And this is in a way that we are planning to enhance the product later this year with a capability of personal donations to a club cause. So that would mean that instead of me as a business owner setting up how the clubs work, how much of the points are donated towards a charitable cause, for example, into a club, individual members of the club could determine per individual purchases made, how many of those points should be given to the charitable cause, right? So they can give up the entirety of the points that they are getting after a purchase, or they can donate just a portion of it. So it depends on their current points earning goals that they have. They might be saving up for like another reward, but aside that, they might want to give certain amount of points to that charitable cause, but they might say, okay, I wouldn't make use of these points yet, so why not give it to a charitable cause altogether? So this new feature that we are working on, being part of the clubs, is going to make this possible for the members.
Good, thank you. A next question from Nicolette, and I also see Csaba being active in the comments. Whatever he's commenting, please think of it as like 100% legit and true. Csaba is the product manager for clubs. He was the one who created the desired functionality, and he was the one who led the engineering teams to actually develop this. So Csaba, feel free to be active, and then everyone else believe everything that he says, because he is the OG around clubs. Now let's talk about Nicolette's question. And I'm adding this to the stream. Let's say I'm running one type of club, but want to switch to another, a different one. How difficult is this? Also, can I have multiple types of clubs at the same time?
Okay, I'm going to give you the short answer, yes. And for the latter question, the first one is not a yes or no question, right? How easy it is. I would say it's fairly easy to set these different things up. So you can, if I go back, maybe I'm just going back real quickly to the previous screen that I was sharing. So if I go in here, come into the club templates, the list of club templates are listed in here, right? So currently we only have family accounts set up in the system, but I can really quickly create a new club template from here just by a click of a button, and then I can decide to activate it or not activate it at the same time. So you can not only swap the different club templates, but you can have multiple ones active at the same time. So it can work like this as well. So it's quite easy to do that. Currently, contribution of the club members can be directed towards one active club, however. So this is a limitation that we have currently, but in a very short amount of time. So we are talking about weeks in here, not months. In a matter of weeks, it's going to be also taken away. So then the member will be able to say, like, okay, I want to contribute to this club or that other club as well. So this is a change that is also coming to the clubs module.
Okay, there is one question which is like slightly belonging to this one about the operational background of how this can be done. And I'm just adding this to the stream. So Robert is asking, what about the front end side of things? Does Antavo also provide it, or does someone else have to do it? And the answer to this is that Andras just described how easy it is to do it on the platform. But the most of the work needs to happen because it's just so easy to do it on the platform. It's like tick in a box. Most of the work needs to happen on the front end. And Antavo doesn't provide the front end. It's you who provides the front end, or the front end agency that you are working with. I see Luke, and I think that's Luke Saville in the chat here, who is asking one of these smartest questions, and we will get there to answer those too. Is, for example, that's his company's activity is actually implementing loyalty programs and creating, for example, the front end to these. All right, so the next one will be Melissa's question. Will there be an option to group a subset of existing members into a new club with all points/spends following them?
That's a really good question. Currently, if you run a club, then you start from the scratch. So if you start to run a club, then your accrual of the previous club points are starting from zero. And later on, this is something that we can evaluate, we can look into. Definitely, this is a great idea. We haven't really evaluated that yet, but we can look into it and get back to you after the webinar.
All right. We talked a bit about fraud detection, and there is this other question related to that. Can the club owner deactivate members?
Yes, they can do that. They can not only deactivate members, but they can decide to kick them from the club. So that means that they can later rejoin via invite or by themselves, depending on the type of the club that we're talking about. But they can also ban them from the club. So they have full control over that. All is API driven, API first. That means that we are providing the sufficient APIs for that, and then you can build that into your web experience or into your mobile experience as well, with sophisticated controls available. So these are definitely available, and the same capabilities are there in the management UI as well. So you, as a customer service rep, or if you are running a smaller scale operation and maybe you are running it all by yourself without customer support reps, you can do that as well through the clubs module.
Excellent. The next question is coming from a loyalty consultant. Can the clubs module be turned on later? Like, can I launch with a basic loyalty program without it and add it later? How much implementation does it take?
This is a great question, Zsuzsa, and Adam as well. I would say yes, absolutely. So you can, just with any other module of Antavo, and this is where the power of Antavo's modularity comes in play, you can start from something small, and we actually suggest to start from something small and build on top of it with multiple iterations. If you experiment, if you try out new things, Clubs is going to be a great way for you to explore community building elements. You can launch a basic loyalty program, maybe just an earn and burn one, or a simple tier-based loyalty program. You can do it. And then on top of that, you can build a Clubs experience later at any time you wish. So there is no mandatory requirement to say, I need to turn this on when the program launches. You can do that later.
Yeah, and it is the good practice. This is what we see at our customers. This is the good practice that we see in general out there, like starting small and adding things, to be a bit careful, to decrease risks, because giving things is always easier and very much welcome by the customers. You can give like new things, novel things to them, while taking things away. If you're rushing things, it can be very painful. Those are the stories that would make it into press that, in not a good way.
Yeah.
All right. Next question will be coming from Josie, and she asks, once members are in the club, can they choose if their points go into their own account or in the club, or will they automatically go into the club?
This is a really good question, almost like if you were reading my mind, right? This is where the non-niche capability that I talked about a couple of minutes ago are going to come in play, where you, as a member of the club, or maybe as the owner of the club as well, you'll be able to determine how many of your points that you would earn after your purchases should be directed towards the club, and how many would you like to keep it for yourself, right? And members will be given the full control over that. Of course, there are going to be thresholds that you can set up. So basically, you'll be able to set up bands like from 20, they can go up to 80% of their points. Or if you want to give them full control, then you can do that like 0% through 100%. They can control how many of their points should go towards the club. So this is coming to the platform, coming to the loyalty engine really, really soon. So yeah, stay tuned, and we're gonna announce it on the usual channels.
Okay, next question. And then I think this is the last but one question that we would do, and then we would wrap up and then answer the rest of the questions individually, if you are okay with it, Andras, because we are going on for a while now. And this is the question that I'm showing now. If you have corporate customers as a segment, can you have a master business account stored for the customer where you define specific rewards or promotions set at the business account level, similar to a family?
I would say Clubs could be your business account in this particular reason, in this particular scenario. So that's one of the great examples of how flexible the Clubs module is. So you can run different types of schemes altogether, and then you can do one family account and then this kind of business account thing as well, side by side with the same member base, using the same Antavo workspace as well, with promotions and all targeted towards these members. Later down the line, there are going to be interesting and exciting segmentation capabilities coming related to the Clubs, as well as Clubs are going to appear in the workflows of Antavo, which is a very much powerful feature of Antavo. And a lot of our customers are leveraging workflows to build the loyalty experiences and business logic. So Clubs are going to be available in these tools as well, fully integrated. And by that time, you'll be able to run promotions and run different types of schemes as well, using Clubs as a grouping element.
Very nice. And there is a sports related question here from Isabel. Would it be possible to a group of friends to create a hockey fan club, for example, to run a hockey pool with questions? I think it's the quiz module in Antavo, and earn points in their hockey fan club. Then spend their points to pay an invoice, which is a feature that we already use in our loyalty program.
Right now, I would say this is not something that you can do with the current solution, but we are looking into integrating this Clubs capability with the rest of the gamification and social capabilities of Antavo. So this is definitely coming to the platform. Maybe not immediately, but as we said it with Zsuzsa, if you start from small and just introduce Clubs at first and introduce capabilities like this later, you're going to be in fine hands, because we are enhancing the product with these kind of capabilities.
Good. Andras, is there anything, because we have still a bunch of questions, is there any question that you could answer with like a quick answer, or multiple questions with quick answers? or let's rather wrap it up and then go on in writing, because I see maybe the rest of the questions maybe would require written answers in more details. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say we should wrap it up here and then answer the questions offline after the webinar. So I believe what's left for us is to say thank you for your attention.
Yes, thank you so much. That was the first time that we used this piece of technology for doing a product release, and I have to say it's been very different to what we've done before, right? So
yeah,
it's like seeing you all in the comments and receiving these questions is so nice, and then having the in the best possible way, I say, the know-it-all of our product here to answer these questions right away is just a really good setup. So I'm very happy that we went with this. All those people who ask questions and we haven't answered them, we will do this in email, because when you registered, you gave your email, so we know. And of course, the most appropriate person from the company will reach out, either customer success managers or partner managers. And if you're not a customer yet, also please reach out to us in all possible ways, because we are happy to onboard new customers as well with this new Clubs functionality. So thank you so much for being here. That is Andras's contact details, my contact details. But we are reachable in any possible way, really. So thank you, Andras, for being here today. Thank you, team, for arranging this this great presentation. And also thank you for the entire Antavo team to produce this, because it's a big effort throughout multiple months to create a new feature and even to think about the new feature and deliver it and actually test it. So it's a big cooperation between everyone. So thank you so much, and then see you in email, right? All right.
Thank you so much
Bye,
for your
everyone.
attention. Bye-bye. Have a great day.